I get comments all the time on my videos saying how bad Premiere is, or, the software keeps crashing. To be honest, 12 years ago, Premiere was a lot worse. And I thought, since I've been editing for 12 years now, it'd be interesting to take a look back and see how the software has improved over time. So let's hop in the time machine and take a look back at 2014 when I first started video editing. Let's take a first look at what I was actually editing on back then. So back then I was editing on a 2012 MacBook Pro. It had 8 gigabytes of RAM. The processor was a 2.4 gigahertz dual core Intel Core i5. When it comes to storage space, it had 500 gigabytes of SSD storage space. And compared to today's computer that I'm currently filming and editing this on, right now I'm using the Apple M3 Max. It has 128 gigabytes of RAM, a 16 core processor, and 40 core GPU with 4 terabytes of storage. So to be honest, software and technology has come a long way, not only from the computer side of things, but also from the Premiere side of things. Now let's take a look at Premiere Pro, and the biggest difference, and probably the most obvious one, is all the new AI tools. I think some of the things that we take for granted today is like just Premiere automatically transcribing our sequences for us. Within a matter of a few minutes, you get a full transcript, and back in the day, this was not a thing. It's pretty new, to be completely honest. Even creating captions. Let's say if you wanted to create captions from this transcript, you can easily do that with one click. Where back in the day, you'd have to actually manually type out captions, click on this, add a caption, and manually type out your captions, which would take a very long time. Or let's say when it comes to audio, if we go into the project panel and click and drag our music track in here, if I wanted to remix this, today you can easily go to the remix tool, zoom out, and remix this song to that length of video. This tool wasn't around 12 years ago. Even the ability to sync separate audio and video tracks together. You couldn't easily just select them, right click on them, go down to synchronize, and this audio section wasn't there 12 years ago. You'd have to actually use a clapperboard or line up the waveforms manually inside your timeline, which can be very time consuming, very tedious to actually zoom in and try to line up the waveforms. And a lot of the times back in the day, I would use my hands and just hand clap on screen. That way I can actually sync up the visual with the audio. Yeah, a lot of these audio tools weren't around back then. Even tools like the enhanced speech wasn't around. Enhanced speech is pretty new. If you go up to Essential Sound, you can automatically clean up your audio by clicking on this enhance button. 12 years ago, you had to use the denoise effect, and even that wasn't perfect. I remember struggling very often with the denoise effect, back in 2014, because it would have to sample your audio before it actually applied the effect.
For many of you, you may or may not know that the denoiser effect does not work properly. I'll play you an example actually right now of how this works. So right now you will be hearing how the denoiser effect works. It has to sample, you'll hear the noise, and then you won't hear the noise. So here it is.
It would take a long time to actually clean up audio, and you'd have to actually use the audio track mixer to do that, but it still had to sample the bad audio in order to fix it. And even on the color correcting side, there was no Lumetri color back then. Yes, believe it or not, there was no panel just dedicated for color. So, you wouldn't have all these controls laid out like this. Back in the day, there was an effect called Fast Color Corrector, and that was like the main tool that I would use for color correcting inside Premiere Pro. And along with that, in addition, would be the RGB curves effect. And even when you would apply those effects, they weren't GPU accelerated as well.
And of course, in the timeline, you'll see that all the footage is yellow, but once you add an effect to it and you start manipulating it, it becomes red, meaning that you added an effect to it and it needs to be rendered out before viewing it in real time.
I mean, it's so easy in today's software. There's literally an auto button that you can just click and it automatically color corrects your footage for you. Under color wheels and match, let's say if you have multiple cameras, you can do comparison view. And if you have a different shot, you can click this auto match and match 2 cameras together without needing to manually do that. Or if you want to copy a color grade from another clip, this is another good way to do that. You couldn't even add LUTs inside Premiere. You'd have to use a third-party plugin, or you'd have to go to the dedicated software for color grading at the time, SpeedGrade, to actually do more advanced color grading controls. But now, fortunately, there's Lumetri Color and everything is in here very intuitively. Let's talk about graphics. So back in the day, you couldn't just use the type tool and just add a graphic. You actually had to go up to title, new title, default still, and use the legacy title menu to actually add graphics and titles, just basic text to your videos. And you have to work with this very clunky menu here where you have to play around. It's a separate screen. And to be honest, I always kind of dreaded going into this and trying to add text back in the day. But fortunately now there's graphic templates, there's essential graphics these days. It makes adding graphics very easy. So in short, Premiere has come a long way. It may have its flaws, and obviously there's a lot of room to improve. But compared to 12 years ago, we're on the right track, I would say. But I did want to mention, if you are new to Premiere Pro and you're looking to learn how to use the software, I did come out with a new online course to learn the software from start to finish. If you want to learn more about that course, I will link a video where I go more in depth about it. But in the meantime, that does it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it, taking a look at the old software, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.